Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of DropKick Podcast.
This is Vikram. I'm here with Daniel, bringing you guys just an episode with the two of us here. We're going to talk about a few things like our live streams, the WWE and Virtual Basement Wrestling video games coming out, and this isn't the first time we've done this. If you guys are new to the podcast, we've done this twice. Go check out episode 1 and 2. Plus, we want to just run down what this really means to us, because this is just crazy. We got one interview, and then it just kept snowballing. And we have a lot more interviews coming for you guys to check out, so don't you worry. But we just really wanted to have a discussion with just the two of us today.
Yeah.
And, yeah, it's really surreal. Like, it started off with...
We needed this, man. I feel like we were supposed to do this after the PJ Black interview, and then I'm like, we'll wait off after the Darren one, and it just kept snowballing because we kept getting these names, and we just didn't know when to actually do it. So we're like, you know what, we'll strike when the iron's hot, and just keep getting these names, because I feel like if we waited on these names, some people might get busy, and since wrestling's starting up again and stuff, so they might not actually have the time to do it. So we just had to take the opportunity and run with it and see how far we can go. And so far, I think we did an okay job. Like I don't want to say we did a great job because I don't want to sound too cocky. But again, it's like, for me, it's a big accomplishment, not just for me, but both of us.
Both of us.
Yeah, like we
didn't expect any of this to happen, all this success and stuff. Like, and like, I don't know, man. It's like, for example, we were on the Full Nelson podcast. We got interviewed there, so make sure you guys check that out. But he had asked us, and not even just him, so many people have asked us, like, what's your favorite interview so far? And it's, all of them are amazing in their own way. Like, if I start off with PJ Black, that was our very first one. That makes it so special. And on a time that we were so nervous, he was so friendly. Like, I went on there so nervous. Oh, I hope he's in a good mood. I hope he's nice to it. One of the nicest people I've ever talked to in my life, to be honest.
For sure.
And just getting that first one out of the way, I was so happy. And then
I was a nervous wreck, man.
I was nervous beforehand, but afterwards, like I'm saying, I was really happy.
Yeah.
And then, of course, we had Fred Ross or Darren Young afterwards. And one of our most in-depth interviews, first of all, that kind of like... a clip of him saying that the Nexus may have returned at WWE WrestleMania 36. Not returned, but had a reunion at the show. A lot of the dirt sheets picked that up, and that got us a lot of attention. But not only that, really just the discussion, like, it was so inspirational. Like for example, we even said this in the podcast, like, we're teenage guys. Like, we've made offensive jokes and stuff in the past, but talking to the first openly gay professional wrestler, and well, not professional wrestler, but WWE superstar. It's just crazy to hear the inspirational story and all the stuff he went through to help normalize things like that in today's society. Very respectable, and it was amazing to learn about that. TJP, man, I was following that guy for years.
For sure,
I was a fan of him for years. It felt crazy that I was actually having a conversation with him.
Yeah.
That was really special to me. Yeah. Aria Blake, the first female person, that is going to be special. It'll always go down, like, whether this ship of the Dropkick podcast sinks or swims, that is special. She will always go down as the first female guest on the show.
For sure.
Man, and I get so excited talking about them.
Right.
Chris Van Vliet, there we go. I always, whenever I talk about the interviews, I want to make sure I don't forget anybody.
Dude, yeah, like, that's the thing. For me, it's like, I always remember them by the order we interview them. So it's like, PJ Black, Darren Young, TJP, who else? Aria Blake, Tyson Kidd. Then it was Chris Van Vliet. Yeah, Tyson Kidd, dude. Oh my God.
We did not expect that one. We did not expect that one to happen, because that was this guy. Yes, he's signed with WWE, wrestler, but he is signed with WWE. He is a WWE producer. We expected, and I'm sure it is a difficult process to get a WWE wrestler on, but to get someone who works there, we didn't even expect that process to go.
Right.
And we didn't expect him to see our DMs or anything. We're not gonna we said this on our live stream. We're not going to go into how we get the people on the show. That's personal between us and the wrestlers. But man, Tyson Kidd, just so nice, and it felt so surreal. I was probably the most nervous for the Tyson Kidd one because I feel like you were he's probably the biggest name that we had on, and it was crazy.
I think all of the names were big, man. I think all of the names were in their own names.
Yeah, in their own ways for sure. But like, they're all huge names. It's just, I don't know. It's because I just remember I was a huge Tyson Kidd fan, and he was just so nice, and we had such a great conversation. He went in depth on his neck injury and everything, gave mental health advice. It was amazing.
For sure. We had Wrestling Classic on too, man. That was really good.
Justin Dillon, the Wrestling Classic.
That was actually 2 hours, man, and we had to split that.
We split it up into part 1 and 2.
Right, and I could have talked to him for like another 5 hours, but then it was like, SmackDown was on.
That guy has so many stories. The Wrestling Classic, Justin Dillon. Follow him on Instagram, everybody. So many stories. He's so interesting to talk to. I could have talked to him, all day long. Yeah. We had to cap it off at 2 hours and make it into a part 1 and 2. Chris Van Vliet, we didn't really go into. Man, so nice. He might have been the nicest. I'm not even going to say the nicest because then I think, PJ Black was nice. Tyson Kidd was nice. Everybody was so nice.
Everybody was really nice, man. Everybody. Here's what I think. Everybody was nice because they took the time to do these interviews with us. They didn't have to do this. For sure, they didn't have to, give us their, special time out of their day. And of course, they're busy with their own stuff, not just things we see on their social media stories and everything. They've got their own lives. So of course, everyone's got their own stuff, and, we respect that for sure. And we respect everything they did for us, and they're going to continue doing for everybody else and so on. But again, Chris Van Vliet was super cool. Like, he was really nice too. Yeah.
I was very nervous for the Chris Van Vliet one because I'd watched so many of his interviews before.
Yeah.
And the minute I got on with him, the nerves went away because I just felt
he made you feel at ease. Right.
He made me feel like a friend because you got on. Dude, literally everybody. This is the first thing that I saw when Chris Van Vliet went on. What's up, guys? Arms in the air, smile on his face. Like, he presents himself as if he's one of your closest friends. It's really, man. Like,
I think that's the vibe people should have, man. I think people should be so open and welcoming, and
that's another. He's so positive. Like, when we're talking about mental health and stuff with him, I'm like, dude, this guy looks happy all the time. Like, and that's a good way to carry yourself, because some people are like, oh yeah, but you're not really showing the dark side of things. No, because think about it this way. I can always watch a Chris Van Vliet interview when I'm upset. You know why? Because he's always positive.
Right. For sure.
Exactly.
I think that's his message too. And I don't think he's addressed it publicly, but like, his message is to, bring, smiles and joy to people, because it's an escape, right? Sometimes you're going to watch an interview, you're not going to expect much from it because you don't know that person very well. And then once you finish that interview, you're like, wow, like, I totally got a different perspective on him. You know what I mean? Or whatever. And it makes you really rethink things, where it's like, these people have actual lives. You know what I mean? Because we see them as like just wrestlers on TV and all these, different personalities. And we never get the real them. But with Chris, like, interviewing them, it's like a total different person, So hats off to him. I respect his work. And even off camera, we got some advice from him, and he was super cool about it. And we're gonna keep this boat running as long as we can and see what happens. But
don't even get me started on how amazing Georgia Smith was.
Oh man, that was so good.
That interview, that was amazing. She, in my opinion, she might have given the best mental health advice to the people struggling. And not only that, it just, once again, same deal with Chris Van Vliet. She felt like a friend I had known for years during the conversation.
For sure.
And we talked to her for a good amount of time afterwards. And even after that, it's not even like just a smile for the show. Like, she was smiles on and off camera. Like, she's just, she was amazing. She's helping us out a lot. She even helped us land another interview. So I really appreciate that. But man, like Georgia Smith, just
she
a
was
great
great, man. She was
just
really
a great
nice.
one, man.
Right.
Yeah.
And that just goes to show, like, if you're willing to help other people and stuff, they'll come back to you, because it's like you give and then you kind of get, you know what I mean? But absolutely, man, I really enjoyed that one. I remember I was so nervous for that one. I was just like,
Yeah.
dude, we're gonna shit the bed on this one. I don't know if it's gonna be that good and stuff, because I didn't, my confidence level was just not at that, peak. And then I was just like, man, like, I hope it does good. I don't think it'll do that good in terms of like my performance, because I know you'll do good and Georgie's always gonna be professional and everything. But I think once we hit the record button, everything just kind of happened. It was like,
definitely.
I don't want to say magic because it sounds too cliche, but it was magic.
And like, how can we even forget how awesome Arnold from the Pro and Bro
Arnold was
Wrestling
really nice,
Podcast.
Dude. We talked to him for a bit after a while.
Even in the DMs, he's awesome, man. Like, just a genuine wrestling fan that I want to sit down and he falls in the same category as a wrestling classic. A genuine wrestling fan I could talk to for hours about wrestling. And yeah, we look to have him on again for predictions, because it was really fun doing the NXT Takeover in Your House predictions. That was amazing, man. Have we covered everybody? I think we might have.
I think, did we?
I'm pretty sure we
got everybody, man. Yeah. We got everybody.
We got everybody. Just feels so surreal. It's
surreal, man. Honestly, like, we started this journey, 2 months ago? We're in July, right?
Just two. So, we're both two aspiring pro wrestlers. We want to be pro wrestlers. That's our dreams. And we've been talking to each other in the DMs and stuff, because a lot of people ask us how we met. We've been talking to each other in the DMs and stuff for about a year, and then Daniel hit me up. He's like, "Yo, I've seen your YouTube videos. I've seen your TikToks. I listened to you on a podcast. I've always wanted to start a podcast. Why don't we do one?"
Right.
And normally, if I don't know. I don't even know how I said yes. Because normally,
I don't know how you said yes either. It's just like I was expecting like a no.
When I look back at it, knowing myself and knowing my personality, if it was anyone else, I probably would have said no. But I'm like, you know what? We're in quarantine. We talk a decent amount. Why not? And man, this just started picking up.
Right. And then if you look back at our first episode, like I said in like our previous interviews with Georgia and so on, like, our lighting was terrible, man. Like, we didn't have a structure that we're gonna follow through, and it's just like now we come up like, it's not scripted, but it's like we write down like spin points where it's like, okay, this is what we're gonna talk about. Right.
So all the conversations are just casual, like.
Right. But and that's how it should be.
Yeah, right. That's how it should be. Anybody who's taking a podcast are gonna interview people. The way we do things is everything is casual. We have a casual conversation with them, like Wrestling Classic would say, casual conversations. Check that out, everybody. But,
stealing his gimmick right here, bro.
Pretty much what we do is, just in case, let's say you guys finish talking about one topic, just have some questions ready. Like that's what we do. We have some questions ready. We're like, all right, let's have a genuine conversation with them. In case we stop talking about one thing, we have something right here to ask.
And I think that's the best way to do it, because it's like, if they're not if they're not too comfortable with it, then it's like, we totally understand. We respect that. We respect their boundaries, and we're gonna go with how they feel. So then we're gonna move on and keep on flowing with the conversation. Absolutely. And we like to top things off, with that game thing we do, and I think that's a good way to do it, because it's like you want to leave it on a positive note and leave it on like a laugh, and it's really good. And man, I don't know if the people should know about this, but we got David Benoit coming on soon.
Yeah, possibly. Well, pretty much we've joined his lives, and he pretty much literally said on live, "I will do your show. I just said it on live. I'll do your show." We don't know how long it will take, but we will get him on. Right. That is something confirmed from us to you guys, is that David Benoit will be on. And I feel like that'll just be such a good conversation.
That'll be really good, man.
Like, if we look at, like, the Suns, like Brian Pillman Jr., Cody Rhodes, all these guys, the amount of knowledge that they have about the business. Think about the son of a legend like Chris Benoit. Like,
right.
That is crazy. And I'm so excited for his future, and even like the mental health advice. I'm sure he has amazing mental health advice for anybody.
He just seems like a cool ass dude. Like just a
genuine guy. And I love watching his Instagram live streams and stuff. And yeah, I can't wait to have him on when the time comes. But speaking of Instagram live streams, if you guys aren't following us on Instagram, follow it. It's at the DropKick Podcast. Literally the DropKick Podcast. Right. That's our username. We went live after WWE Monday Night Raw last week. Now this isn't a confirmed weekly thing, but we wanna go live after a bunch of wrestling shows. Talk to you guys. Let us know what you guys think of the shows. Ask us about the podcast. We had so many questions that night about the DropKick Podcast that we spoke about. We talked about Raw, our personal opinions on wrestlers and wrestling matches, and just a really fun time. So you guys got to check that out. Our next one will be after Monday Night Raw this week. It's not going to be only Monday Night Raw. Like, there will be weeks where we do it on SmackDown or AEW, Dynamite, NXT pay-per-views. But it'll just be a really fun time. So make sure you guys check that out.
I hope that really does well, man. Like, I know it's not gonna get like 20 viewers or whatever, but like, I think we hit like 15 or something.
We hit like Monday. 15, dude. There was one point when there was like 2 or 3 viewers in, and I was still having a fun time because it was fun.
Yeah.
As long as the people watching are interacting in the comments, I'm having a fun time.
For sure, I think that's the best way to say it.
Yeah.
But man, yeah, like I still can't believe like all of this is happening, but. Yeah, like Vikram said, stay tuned for Instagram Lives. But switching topics here a little bit, we're going to talk about WWE 2K. And this is a topic that we wanted to talk about for like a month, and it just never got to the point because, again,
so many interviews kept coming. We haven't had just a conversation with each other.
Right. So
I don't know if these rumors are true. Probably not, because they sound so amazing. I don't know, we're not talking about WWE 2K Battlegrounds. We're talking about WWE 2K22 because they skipped 21. Because obviously 2K20, this face is all I got to say about it. If you guys are listening on SoundCloud, wasn't a very good game.
Right.
So I think they made the smart choice. They decided, let's wait a year, let's give them this game, and for a simulation, let's make something better. Right. I've heard rumors that it's going to be SmackDown versus Raw 2K22. I don't know if that's 100% true, but what's basically almost confirmed, at least to my knowledge, is a GM mode. And something that I want to speak about for this GM mode is don't just do it like the old games where you'd pick Raw, SmackDown, or NXT. Have that, of course, but how cool would it be if you can run your own promotion and compete with WCW?
That would be really dope.
Dare I say AEW style. Now, obviously, they can't put AEW in the game or anything like that, but the whole idea is you make your own promotion. And you're like, yeah, but how are you going to compete against WWE with WWE stars? Simulate people who get released. That is something that happens. Simulate people who get released, and not only that, we have community creation to let us use our custom stars in our GM mode. And obviously keep, for the people who want to be the GM of Raw, SmackDown, NXT, keep that. But it'd be fun if they had a mode where you can run a promotion that's battling WWE. I feel like that'd be awesome.
I agree, man. I'll play the old SVR games, and I'll get the nostalgia of just, being a kid and hooking up that PS3 and playing it, because it's like, it was so fun, it wasn't so like overproduced and stuff. You actually had fun modes, like the Road to WrestleMania thing. You get to free roam in SVR 2011, I think, right? And it was just fun, man. It was just fun, gaming for hours, and you never get bored over it. But I think WWE has to step up, their gaming,
Yeah, and it's like, obviously, it's not WWE, it's 2K.
It's 2K, right.
It's just the thing is that, like, I don't want to be so... I kind of have to be hard on them. 2K20 was a very bad game, and it kept me... I was very disappointed because I bought that game, and it's... Another reason why I was really disappointed about it, 2K19 was a good game.
It was. I enjoyed it.
And it's like, I legitimately think people can say 2K14 was the best. Thing was, if I'm not mistaken, 2K14 was just a name. I don't think the same developers developed it. I'm pretty sure 2K15 was like the first one that 2K had full control.
Yeah.
Over. So that, in my opinion, WWE 2K19 is the best one that they've made. When you include the My Career mode, the 2K Showcase, and things like that. For me personally, I'd scrap 2K Showcase because I'm playing through something I've already played through.
I would keep it, bro. I would keep it.
I'd rather bring in Road to WrestleMania.
Why not bring in both?
That's true. But keep My Career. And this is my thing about My Career. 2K19 had their best My Career because it was like a story mode. But 2K20 was also a story. Oh, yeah. You can talk. Sorry, I just get very excited when I'm talking about the games.
But I think the story was too short. You know,
I agree.
I feel like I played it in one day and completed it, and I was like, man, I don't want to play these side quests because it's like the same cutscene. It's the same. It's like I already know what's gonna happen. You know what I mean? So it's like I wish they did it longer in terms of the storyline. I wish they made it, you know, at least last for like a good 2 months or something. You know, kind of refresh it. And going back to like the old SVR games, 2007, they had a mode or something. I forgot what it was. I think it was 24/7 mode or something. And
I think so.
Something like that, yeah. And their modes were so refreshing because you finish it, it would generate a new storyline automatically. I don't know if you knew that. So if I was Batista, I would go to like SmackDown, win the world title, and then if I restarted, I'd be like Triple H and just new cutscenes, and it was so fun. But
so I agree with that. 2K19, they had the best My Career mode of the series, but it should have been longer for sure. Now my beef with 2K20's My Career is because people were like, it was longer, so why wasn't that one better? The storyline. First of all, they did a women's My Career, which is amazing. Like, although the young women who watch wrestling, they deserve to have that. But my thing is that make 2 story modes. Like, why does the male and the female have to have the same career mode? And I'm not saying it's impossible to make one that's good like that. It's just no matter what, one of the characters is going to be better than the other. And it's either going to leave the guys playing the game upset and not want to finish the mode, or it's going to leave the girls playing the game.
I love the girls really satisfied, and the guys, like, you know, they didn't care because he was the Robin and the girl was the Batman. You know what I mean? So
it's like it was terrible because he was such a goof. It wasn't even like he was a serious competitor. Like, okay, fine. He wins the Universal title. He loses it on the pre-show of Money in the Bank against Braun Strowman. Meanwhile, she's having matches with like Lita and stuff. He's facing a rib. Someone dressed literally as a rib.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I don't know if they called it Ribby. I'm not making it up. A high school mascot named Ribby. He lost to him. I promise. I'm not making this shit up. If you look up the gameplay,
shit. Yeah.
I promise. It's just that's why I think they should have separate career modes. Like, have a women's My Career mode, make that a different story than the male My Career mode. Because when you have them together, one's gonna be over the other. Am I angry that the woman got favored? No, because we had a guy for My Career mode for years and years and years. The women deserve that. But I just think they should have their own stories. That way both can be satisfied. You know what I mean?
For sure. Changing topics here a little bit. Virtual Basement's got a new game coming up. They got like guys like Brian Cage, PJ Black, Grimm's gonna be on it, so that's pretty
Grimm's
dope.
Toy Show.
Yeah,
Childhood man. They just got PJ Black on it today.
Yeah. They got a lot of people on it.
They got Enzo Amore on it too. It's crazy.
Yeah. I think they got Brian Pillman Jr. I don't know if that's confirmed.
I'm pretty sure I saw that too.
Yeah.
That's looking good.
That's gonna be good, man.
Screenshots and stuff. They continue getting big people on the roster. That'll be fun, and it's just like, man, it'll be good because 2K needs some competition.
For sure. And I think now's the time. And speaking of competition a little bit, AEW is, working to get a new game
on a
out
video game
soon.
Yeah.
Right. That's going to be amazing, dude. I can't wait for that.
I wonder who the developers are. I don't think EA Sports are going to be developers. I'd love that, but I don't think it's going to. But speaking of EA Sports, I'd love if AEW's video game was kind of similar to UFC in a way. Maybe in the career mode aspect, because they should follow like a story mode type thing. That'd be cool.
Right.
But also like after the story mode's done, the way UFC's got the layout, it's like AEW and UFC are kind of similar with like the ranking systems and things like that.
I really like that. It just
Yeah.
like keeps track of like, you know, if you're, you know, losing or not.
Yeah.
Whatever, but
And it'll just be so cool. And I like you should start off on the indies, like in the WWE one, not copy the WWE games because people want something different. But like the career mode could be cool in that. But not only that, like if WWE's not gonna give us a create your own brand to compete against thing, maybe AEW will. And
even Virtual Basement, man, I think they're gonna kill it. They're gonna
Which, by the way, everybody watching, everybody always asks, when's the Virtual Basement video game coming out? It's not confirmed, but it's not in 2020. I promise it's gonna be in 2020.
I thought it was this year, man. Wow, I'm bummed out now.
But yeah, Virtual Basement's gonna be really good too. I don't know if you played Wrestling Revolution on iOS, but
it's on iOS. I thought you told me it's just on PS4. I didn't know it was on iOS.
I wish. But yeah,
wait, is it for free?
Wrestling Revolution. It's like obviously it's on iOS, so the graphics aren't good at all. But like just the gameplay, like that's how my career mode should be. If you could make like a wrestling game, because basically they couldn't use the names WWE and JPW and stuff. AEW wasn't around when it was developed, but like you can sign with all these places. You start off in wrestling school, which is basically just the indies. There's Rising Sun Perso, which is New Japan. It's crazy that AAW is WWE. They're called American Wrestling. I forgot what
they couldn't call it WWE, so they have to call it, you know, American
That's Super
Wrestling.
Lucha Libre, which at the time could have been Lucha Underground. If you play it now, you'd probably consider it AAA. But like, it was a cool, really cool concept. And they're making a new one because it's outdated. Like the roster doesn't have like Kenny Omega and all these people because when this was developed, they weren't really popular. They're making a number 2. It's confirmed to be on Nintendo Switch. It'd be so cool if they got it on like PS4 and Xbox and all these things. I don't think they're going to. I heard they're not going to have it on iOS, which that'll bum me out a lot because I feel like it'd be really fun.
I thought they'll come out with it eventually, you know.
Yeah, hopefully.
I don't know.
But dude, you should definitely download that game. It's free and everything. Like, trust me.
Check it out.
Yeah, you'll enjoy it. But like, well, like, what was I gonna say? Even if you can change everybody's name, so like, they have all the wrestlers. Like, they all look the same. For example, John Cena's name was like Jim Sierra.
No way they did that.
Yeah, they did that. So it's easy. Wow. But the thing is, you can go in and edit everyone's name. Whatever
so you want. Name it like John Cena.
Yeah, one day
John
I just
Moxley.
spent like a solid half hour, an hour naming everybody. You can change everybody's attires so that it's all up to date. So since you can rename and change everybody's attires, like, okay, I'll just make Kenny Omega. I'll make all these new guys.
Right.
But if we go back to WWE 2K21 or 22, I don't even know if they're skipping 21 or delaying 21 to next year.
I think it should be just called SVR 2000.
Yeah, I think SVR sounds way cooler.
Like, they should just bring that, you know, brand back and kind of revamp it and see where things go, you know. But
I heard that next year they might only have it on the current consoles, PS4 and Xbox One. Which I'm not going to get the PS5 right away.
I'm not going to get it right away.
But like, if it's reversed and it's only on the new consoles, I'm going to be salty, man.
Man, that's going to suck. Yeah.
Just put it on both. But
for the old gen, when PS4 and Xbox One came out, I remember WWE2K15 was released, and they had it dropped on the PS3 and Xbox 360.
Yeah.
But here's the thing: my career wasn't, you know, in the game for
I used
the
to be
old
so
gen.
salty.
That used to suck, man.
As a kid, because I didn't upgrade from. I had an Xbox 360. I didn't move to PS4 until 2016.
Yeah, it took me a couple of years.
Yeah, so the first time I played my career was 2K17. But like, I was salty every year. But I'd still buy the game.
For sure, man. But man, I can't wait for these, you know, games to come out. But again, this wraps up our episode this weekend of the DropKick Podcast. And
absolutely,
this coming week we'll have another interview with none other than Diana Hart
Smith.
Right. And I can't wait for that, man. I can't.
That's gonna be awesome.
That's gonna be really good.
That's gonna be awesome. I'm very excited for that one.
That's gonna be on a Wednesday, by the way. So stay tuned. But the episode will drop on Thursday at 4:30 p.m. Eastern. So
everybody stay tuned for that. Again, like, thank you to all our interviewees, and since we just brought up Diana Hart-Smith, like Tyson Kidd, T.J. Wilson, Georgia Smith. Honestly, like, I know it's only I know it's only 2 people, but like, just a huge thank you to the Hart family for helping us out, linking us with other people to interview. It's truly it brings a smile to my face. It brings me joy because it makes us feel like we're somebody, I guess.
Right.
Like
we're actually doing something.
Someone in the wrestling business.
Right.
We're doing something, exactly. And once again, like, everybody, they all had smiles on their faces. They were all very nice to us, and we thank everybody who has been on, and
we thank everybody for supporting and watching. And I say that I don't care about the numbers sometimes, and we'll get like 80 views on a certain interview or whatever. But then again, it depends. It really matters on how that interview made you feel as a person. Did it make you feel happy, sad, and all these emotions? That's the main takeaway. And as an audience watching, we want to bring you a great interview. That's our job. We don't want to skip out on anything. We want to bring the best out of that interviewer, as in us, and also the person that we're interviewing. And I hope we deliver, and I hope we're obviously going to stay consistent on top of our game. But thank you for supporting, and thank you for listening as always. But you can catch us on YouTube at The VP Show, and on SoundCloud. We will always link that. But this wraps it up, man. Thank you guys, and see you soon.
Thank you guys so much for watching, and see you soon.